have vowed to actually cut down any threat to the May 29 handover. Good morning and welcome to the Daily, and also my co-host. Thank you so much. We're live on the phone line, so you can be active.
Commission cautions NBC over sanctioning of media houses. Nigerian NCDNB performs groundbreaking for construction of $7.04 billion paper manufacturing plant in Bayelsa. Donald Trump arrives New York ahead of today's historic arraignment. The details can be found on page 10. Gunshots, violence disrupt APC PDP's visit to INEC office in Rivers. The writer following the story, thugs attack opposition party secretariat. Tony Cole cries out, says his life in danger. The big story on this day newspaper coming from Yahaya: Army will contain all threats to nation sovereignty. Says operation against saboteur raised oil production to 1.3 million barrels per day. Major shakeup as Navy redeploys senior officers. You can start with the story on the front page and continue on page 9. We have a picture story that says inauguration of the National Media Compliance Commission. The details can be found inside the paper, and that's all the news on this day newspaper.
On the Punch newspaper, the big story ahead: handover, military vow crackdown on security threat, warn IPOB and others. The writer following that story, nobody should threaten integrity of Nigeria, truncate democracy, coming from the defense headquarters and the army chief. APC asks Biden to disregard anti-Tinubu petition. I take that story. APC asks Biden to disregard anti-Tinubu petition as protesters demonstrate in U.S. Politicians rooting for interim government irresponsible and mischievous, coming from Buhari media organization. Let me read a little detail of that story. Ahead of the May 29 handover, the defense headquarters on Monday vowed to resist anything that would truncate democracy. The Director of Defense Information, Brigadier General Tuku Kosu, stated this in an interview with one of our correspondents in Abuja, just as the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Farouk Yahaya, threatened to crack down on potential threats to national security and warned the indigenous people of Biafra, Eastern Security Network, and other fringe groups not to test the will of the military. He said the peaceful conduct of the general election, despite the insecurity engineered by the outlaw groups, was a testament to the military's resolve to ensure security across the country. The military spoke against the background of the security crisis that plagued the election in parts of the country and the recent agitation of the interim national government by some groups dissatisfied with the outcome of the presidential election won by the All Progressive Congress candidate Bola Tinubu. Citing the violence and other malpractice that allegedly characterized the polls, the group were insisting that Tinubu should not be sworn in on May 29, noting that an interim government should be put in place instead. Square to the glamour, the Department of State Service alerted the nation to a plot on that issue. And you can continue to read more detail of that story on page 2. And Rachel, before I move further, I know that was on this day newspaper, and it has also reflected on the Punch. And I'm really happy we can see that yesterday we saw where Buhari, 28 governors were being asked, to, I think there was issue of security vote, and there was also the issue of declaring their assets so they'll be able to check on accountability if there was any place of corruption. The EFCC said that they will be after all of these governors and president once they are out of the office. And we have seen that so many governors have set up committee for handing over. We saw even yesterday the governor of Plateau State did the same thing. He had a committee from the outgoing administration and also the incoming administration to make sure that handing over is actually done properly. And we have seen even governors and even the president. We can see even the military saying anybody that's trying to truncate the handing over will be ready to face, the wrath of the military. And I think it's the right step, in as much as, looking at the presidential election, a lot of agitations have come in. The fact that results were not being displayed on the RF. We've seen people saying that the election was not the mandate of the people and all of that. But then, one of the things we have said here is the fact that people should remain peaceful. As a people, you cannot, go to the court and then the candidates are the one that should actually face the court. And we've seen they said if you have any problem with the result, bring your facts and figures to the court, because that is what the court will work with. And we can see even sending money to IPOB and any other person. We've seen the issue of interim government from last week being on our papers and saying any place maintain their peace. We do not want any bloodshed of any form. We want a peaceful transmission of power from one administration to the other. Whether it's your party that won or not, one thing is for sure, we have one Nigeria, regardless of the party. So I keep saying parties do not fight. It's the candidates that make the party a very, alive at the end of the day. So we hope that all of this party will call their followers to order. We don't want to hear any issue of anything. I think they have some people are want to make sure that we have unrest and all of that. So we hope that everybody will please obey the order that have been given, because we don't want backwards. Then Rio and I were saying we hardly see the military interfering in civilian issues, where we are seeing that people are proving to be stubborn. That is why we are seeing the military always coming in. So let's please behave ourselves. People out there, please do behave yourself so you don't end up falling under the wrath of any military, any police will actually maltreat you as a result of any action. So I hope that we'll all follow up all of these due processes to have a peaceful transmission of power.
Okay. So concerning asset declaration and corruption, I'm looking forward to Nigeria where the EFCC don't have to wait until you're out of your office before they come after you. I see in world-leading economies and country where people are being probed in their office. The moment you mishandle a fund, the moment you can't explain or give details or accountability of what you did with certain money, you are going to be out. One little mistake, they come for you at that point. But we have the habit of allowing people. Why should we allow somebody 4 years, 8 years to keep misusing our funds, to keep embezzling, to keep siphoning, to keep doing everything they have to do? You give them 4, 8 years to keep gathering whatever they have to, and you come and say you will go after them after they've left the office. I believe the damage has been done too much for us to keep giving them that room. I'm just looking forward to where we will do things the right way. When somebody is in the office, let it start there. Let EFCC start going for people in offices when they're in the office, not after. Whatever you have to, let's stop it before it gets too bad. There's no point allowing somebody 4 years, 8 years of just squandering your tax money, your income that it is meant for you. This is government money. And what people don't understand, that government money is not some magical money from the coffers of the government. It's not. It's still your money. It's all your accumulated tax. It's all the money you've been paying for revenue, for your plate number, for your house registration, your bills. All of those money are still the money the government are expected to use to make your life better, and they don't. So why would we have organizations that should go after individuals when they're in the money, saying we will come for them after, when you've given them 4, 8 years to do whatever damage they have to? So I'm looking forward to a process where we will be accountable in the position, not outside it, because you will be able to close your tracks. But when you are in that position and the people who are expected to come for you, it's like stopping nonsense before it gets bigger. It's like making sure this person don't go away with 100 million because he has already gone away with 20 million. But imagine you give the person a long period of time. You just give the person more room to keep doing damage and just not doing what is appropriate. And yes, I'll keep saying it. When we do things right, like concerning the military coming to say they will not stand against, they will not watch anybody spoil the arrangement of May 29. I want to believe, first of all, yes, it's okay for the military to say this is their stand. However, I believe that we have the police, we have the NSCDC, and we have the DSS. We have our secret intelligence. They're supposed to be the one working undercover secretly, because that's what they're expected to do, to fish out who are those trying to sabotage this, because I want to believe that for those planning on the sabotage is also a covert operation. So we need our covert intelligence system to also run that kind of operation, so that people wouldn't know and will be able to get. So before the army should even want to step in, until it proves difficult for our police department, until it feels difficult for the NSCDC, until it even goes above the DSS, because these are the body that could work this situation undercover, until we have a complete chaos situation, then before the army will step in. However, it is not wrong for them to say this is their standpoint concerning whoever should go wrong. But I'm looking forward to a system where the people who are supposed to be in charge of certain issues should be the one to step out and say, this is what we are going to do. And when it comes, if whatsoever happening, as much as we don't pray for it, they should be the one in charge for it, because military training is different from police, different from the NSDC. These are people that are more in charge of the civil, the normal, regular civil situation. They are expected to know better how to
relate with civilians.
Yes, exactly. When it comes to protests, anything that may aggravate anger or chaos, these are the agencies that are supposed to be in charge of. We know what the soldiers are for, and their training and how they see situation is different. So I'm looking forward to where we will do things the right way. Let every process be due in the way it should be.
Of course, Rachel, we are just watching to see the transition and we are move of being peaceful. And just like it's saying, we're looking forward to where they will be accountable while in office, not outside of office. But we saw the bill the president rejected, making them to be accountable.
Way,
So I think that's the reason why they won't be accountable while in office, but after being in the office. We've seen governors saying they have nothing to hide. They're ready to. I think I saw the press coming from the Plateau State governor saying that he has nothing to hide. He's ready to be accountable to the people for every resources he have used. So we look forward to seeing every other governor that is actually handing over to the next administration doing the same thing. And we hope we'll not have any embarrassing situation coming at any point in time. Let's continue still on the Punch newspaper. IATA warned Nigeria as airlines trap fund hit $802 million. Federal government approves 173 loan apps bar illegal online banks. Shareholders protest Owando plan delisting share acquisition. You can find that story on page 20. We have a picture story here. Save our mandate. Give us our mandate, coming from the INEC, where we saw one killed, scores injured at Rivers. APC PDP supporters clash, and this is not what we want to see. That is why we're calling on candidates to call their followers to order. We hate seeing issues like this on our paper. You lose your life as a result of a candidate that don't even have an idea what is happening. So we just hope that it's not our patriotism shouldn't be about a party. I keep saying this. Let your patriotism be about, I need peace in Nigeria. Let us develop this character of harmony, as a country, because at the end of the day, we all want a peaceful country. So at the end of the day, you keep fighting, shedding blood, and then how much are you being paid to cause trouble at the end of the day? And then your parents are the one at the losing end at the end of the day, because any politician that is sponsoring such thing will not even come out. And we keep saying that if this was a good deal, why do they not send their kids? Why do they not send their family members? But we keep seeing them using some people that do not have anything to add to the society. So rather than channeling this energy to causing confusion, I think I'll call on the youth, especially because they are the ones that are being used. I'll call on the youth that this is a time that we use our mandate, we use our power. Let's be good followers, and let's hold them accountable.
We should.
Even if you feel that it's not your candidate that is in power, but I think you still have the responsibility of holding whoever is in power accountable. So I'm hoping to see this spirit of true patriotism coming from Nigerians, rather for us to be seeing clash coming from all of these parties. This is not what we want to be seeing.
And I believe, just as you said, Sele, like that's what we need to, regardless of who is your city, who is your candidate, and we don't know what will be the end result. In the end, it might still be the president, governors elect, regardless of the court cases. And I keep saying, even if we had a free and fair election, your candidate won't always emerge the winner. It doesn't mean that the process wasn't okay, but it's just how it is. But then what are you supposed to do as a patriotic Nigeria is to wish the government well. And also, as a Nigerian, try not to do anything to sabotage the effort of the us